Everybody, thanks very much for coming again. 57 now we're up to and still counting. That's great. Welcome to the fourth episode of Friday Night Live. What started off as a one-off has become a weekly kind of program now, which is great to see. And it's great to see all you people coming back, all you kids coming on week after week to listen to what everybody's got to say. And it's great that we're able to do this every week for you. Tonight we're lucky to have three players that currently play in the Elite League. They're going to pass on a lot of their stories, all the clean ones anyway. They're going to pass on a lot of their experiences. Matt, Murph, Jordan, I don't know what you three think you've let yourself in for, but some of the questions that we get from some people can be a little bit varied, to say the least. But no, it's great to have you guys here. It's been a busy week since we were last Friday Night Live. Since then, we had Jamie McBrearty on Saturday morning, who was talking about growth mindset, which I see a lot of the same faces were on again. Listening to that, we've had two fitness classes as well, one for the under 13s and one for the over 13s as well. And then on Wednesday night there, we had two of the best Scottish women players that we've ever produced, and Angela Taylor and Beth Schoon, and they were talking about women's hockey. So it's been a busy week. We're hoping to keep those weeks as as busy going forward, and we hope to keep seeing all you guys tuning in week after week after week. Quick thing with the usual house rules, guys. If everybody can keep their microphones on mute, that would be great. If anybody's got a question, if you can drop it in the chat box. And if you do have a question, if it's for either Matt, Stephen, or Jordan individually, if you could just say that the question's for them, and if it's for everybody, just say it's for all. Okay. The other little thing for those of you that haven't been on any of these ones that we've had before, the best way to view this is in your top right hand corner if you're using a laptop. I don't know what it's like if you're using a tablet or a phone. There's a little button that says view. If you click on view and then if you click on speaker view, that way you just actually see the person that's talking and not everyone else in the room, okay? Does that all make sense? Can I get thumbs up from all you guys? You all excited? Yeah? Good stuff. Okay, so tonight we've got Stephen Murphy from the Belfast Giants. We've got Matt Haywood from the Glasgow Clan, and we've got Jordan Cownie from the Dundee Stars all here to talk to you tonight. So they're going, like we said, they're going to pass on some hints and tips and some fun stories, and they're going to talk about themselves and what they've done in hockey over the years. So I'm not going to speak anymore because nobody wants to listen to me. We're going to hand over to you three guys. Why don't you start by telling us how you got involved in hockey, where your careers have taken you, places you've been, leagues you've played on, teams you've played on, and just give everybody a little introduction about yourselves. Who'd like to go first?
Youngest first, they count.
I was going to say oldest, most experienced, but yeah. No, so my hockey journey kind of started when I was about 4 or 5 years old when the rink opened in Dundee. Me and my dad just went down to kind of check it out. I don't come from much of a hockey family, so I mean, it was just kind of trying out something new and seeing how we got on. And from about 6 years old, I think, started playing hockey for the Dundee Tigers junior system and just kind of never looked back from there. I think I made my first national team at around 11 years old. And just kind of sprung on from there. I mean, went from strength to strength and then started playing pro when I was around 17 years old. So yeah, that was kind of the start of my career. So yeah. I'll let one of you guys want to take over.
Yeah, I'll go next. Obviously, I'm from Sheffield, so I played in Sheffield from when I was 5, 6. I got into hockey from my dad's uncle. Used to live in Canada, and when he moved back over, he took us to a Steelers game, and obviously fell in love with it and just wanted to keep skating. And then obviously found a team in Sheffield and went all the way through the junior system in Sheffield, playing for the Midlands Conference teams, and then made my first national team for GB under 18s, did 20s, and then got the opportunity to move up to Glasgow Braehead when I was 18, 19, and then obviously just 10 years to celebrate my testimonial just there.
My hockey started actually. My granny got me into hockey. She was a Dundee Rockets fan, and she took me along to the games. And I think as young as maybe 4 or 5, and I just got hooked on it. And ever since, I've been playing hockey. And has taken me all over the place, I suppose. I started playing junior in Dundee, but I actually stopped for about a year until I moved to Glasgow, and then that's when I actually started playing in goal. I started as a player first, and then I changed to goalie about a few years in, and there I played Glasgow juniors, and from there I went to the Fife Flyers, and ever since really I've played for quite a few teams now. I was taking teams in England and over North America and into Scandinavia as well, and then I've been in Belfast now for about 10 and actually probably about 12 years now. So it's been a long journey for me.
Cool, thanks guys. So we'll start off by asking a couple of questions. The first one I've got is maybe for you, Murph, purely through seniority. You've obviously been around hockey and around the Elite League for a lot of years. A lot of these kids are really interested in the Elite League and Elite League teams. What do you think's been the biggest change in the Elite League from the time when you first came into the league as to where it is now?
I think every year it becomes a bit more professional. I think that's not exactly from the league itself. You know, the way the league's run and stuff is pretty much the same, but I think the standard has grown, and I think just everybody who's coming over to play, whether it's, you know, British kids, British guys, the imports, they're all coming over with a bit more respect, I think, for the league in general, and they're coming ready to play as well. Whereas before, I think it was, you know, it was maybe guys thought could come over and take it easy, and I think the last, you know, few, I don't know how many years it's been changing. It's been becoming tougher and tougher, and I think guys have come over and realised that the league is growing, and the British standard, that the guys that are in the league, the British players in the league have improved as well over that time too. So I think the standard's definitely improved over the years. Yeah.
And Matt, Jordan, you guys obviously came into the Elite League when you were maybe late teens or early 20s. What did you guys think of the standard when you first came into it? What did you have to do to your own games to get yourself ready for it? And that's also going back a year or two or three previous to joining the Elite League. What did you have to do to prepare yourself to play at that type of level?
I would say that I found it a big step up from the old EPL, which is now, well, I don't know what it is now. It's the NIHL or whatever it is now. The old EPL was a 4-import league, a lot of Eastern European guys, and then coming up to Glasgow, it was a 10 import league back then. I think about 10 years ago, Murph, am I right? 10 imports.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Anyway, so I noticed that even practices were intense, and I realised it quickly. It's like it's not just messing around anymore. It's actually have to work hard to if I want to play, I have to work hard and I have to get my fitness up. And it was quite a shock for me, but I think it's what I needed, just to like get thrown in the deep end and sink or swim kind of thing.
I think what kind of prepared me was maybe like the 4 years I spent in the EPL, similar to what Matt said. I think it's a huge step from the SNL straight to the Elite League, as everyone knows. So, I mean, to go down there and gain experience in Milton Keynes and Peterborough and play kind of 4-import hockey where your British guys are maybe playing more of a premium role on the team as opposed to just making up the numbers, let's just say. So, I mean, that helped me in a big way. So by the time I got to the Elite League, I kind of had a bit of confidence, and I wanted to go into the league playing the role that I knew I was able to play, as opposed to going in and just being told to play a role that might necessarily not benefit my game so much. So yeah, I knew that to get to the Elite League, that I was going to have to put in the work at the second level, because the jump's just way too big right now.
Yeah, that's what a lot of kids are finding up in Scotland right now. The jump to try and crack the Elite League is getting harder and harder every year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll go. Stephen, you want me? You okay?
Go ahead.
Okay, so guys, just a couple of questions about, you know, your time when you were younger and coming through. Is there a coach that made an impression on you when you were younger? and it helped you make the step up, or give you some good life lessons that when you were younger that you can always think back on? Was there any coach at junior level that made a real impression on you? Stephen, that's quite hard for you, I'm afraid.
You know fine well. My coach made all the impressions for maybe some of the wrong reasons, but
yeah, well,
he's actually my stepdad as well. So, but yeah, I mean, he had a massive impact on my career. And I had stopped playing hockey when I was young anyway, before I met him. So he kind of got me back into hockey when I was young, and yeah, and basically just. I think he kind of made sure that he started the Glasgow Junior Club basically and got that running, and made sure that we were all playing the best we can, but having as much fun at the same time. So it was good memories, and it was definitely something that sticks with, I think, all of us that were there. You know.
I know you got to play with some really good players there as well.
Yeah, there was a few, yeah, but I can't remember the names.
Yeah. Matty, any for you, any good kind of junior memories of coaching that stick out?
Yeah, we had I think we had a really good setup in Sheffield back when they were all Queen's Road days before Ash Sheffield came along. And one guy I do remember was a guy called John Rowbotham. He played like ENL back in the day. He wasn't a great player, but he was a really good coach. He kind of moved up with my age group, so I always kind of had him as a coach right up to EPL when he was at the Scimitars. And the other one's Pete. I had Pete Russell in the under-18s GB national. I didn't understand a word he was saying. But and obviously I had him again last year and I could understand him a bit better.
Yeah. Okay. Jordan, anyone from you? Any kind of coaches that stood out for you in your junior?
Similar to Matty, I mean, kind of the coaches following up the age groups. So I had a guy, John Gordon and Richard Phillips. They were the guys that kind of followed me up the age groups. But a coach that kind of stands out, kind of my breakthrough year, was at 16 when Barry was my coach for the Comets.
Oh, come on. Don't pump your tires any more than you...
I think, yeah, we had a good year that year. I was only 16, so it was my first year playing senior hockey, and I think we won the treble, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, that seems to be the year for me that I kind of kick-started to the next level.
Fist bump, Barry, fist bump.
You've just made his night.
Yeah,
Payments in the post.
We'll get that. We'll get this for the next month now.
Never going to hear the end of this. Thanks, Jordan. You can go now.
Just moving on. Moving on swiftly. Just you guys are playing senior level and played senior level. What do you think the game? How do you think the game could be improved in the UK, particularly for the British kids? How do you think the game could be improved?
It's a tough question. Obviously the leap from the lower leagues up to the elite league is pretty big. So there has to be a way to bridge that. A better way to bridge it. And I don't know. I don't know if it starts from the bottom or it starts from the top up. I'm not sure what the best option is. If it starts from the top up, then I guess you have to lower the import numbers to give more kids more opportunity. I also think maybe changing the league, the way the elite league is the format, because if you're on one of the top, whatever, say you're in the top half of the league and it's all about the league race, right? You're chasing the title. Every single game in the elite league is a must-win game, just because of the way the format is, and so much emphasis is put on the league title. So there's not really any opportunities for coaches to say, well, we'll rest a guy here and we'll get a kid in and we'll get him up. There's not that many opportunities, and well, for quite a few of the teams at least, and it goes for even the whole league really. It is a grind all year long, which is great in certain aspects, and it's really a fun way to play as well, but it limits opportunities, I feel. So I guess that's one way, but I don't know. It's a tough question, really. There's a lot of things that could be spoke about on that, I'd say.
Yep. Matty, any thoughts on?
Yeah, I think I would have said the exact same. I probably would say reduce the import numbers by 2 or 3, maybe. I feel like a 11-12 import league would be great. I think that gives 2 or 3 spaces for young Brits to come through and play their way into getting more minutes, like where kind of like we did, and then it also gives top end Brits more responsibilities. You're not just going out to kill penalties. You're actually probably going to get some power play time and stuff. So I feel like, and you're still going to get those imports that are beneficial for your national teams and stuff like that. I think overall 11, 12 is probably the optimum number.
Okay. Jordan, any thoughts on that? You're a bit younger.
Yeah, the most British guys seem to have kind of the same tune. I think we're all kind of getting to the stage when 14 is maybe a little bit too much, it's taking guys till maybe 23, 24 to even break into the league, because there's older guys still in certain spots. So it's tough. There's limited spots, and obviously everyone's battling for those spots. But if you just drop them a little bit, it gives guys a chance. And like the guys are saying, I think it would probably work for the best.
Yeah. Okay. Last question from me, guys. Right. Stephen, I'll start with you in this one, and it goes for everyone. Is there any kind of skills or anything that you wish you'd worked on more when you were younger? You're specifically, obviously, for the young goalies that are on the call.
Yeah. I don't know if there's one skill that I would have worked on, but it's basically, I think it's just really just maintaining the consistency in training, and I always enjoyed basically, doing whatever it took to stop pucks, and I feel like coaching goalies, I think it's not so much about technique when you're young, it's how keen you are to stop the puck, and I think that's one thing that I sometimes see, in junior practices. It's kids might look like they've got the style, but if they're not getting in the way of the puck, then the style doesn't matter at that age. And I think if you've got that keenness to stop pucks, then that'll take you in a good steps forward for sure.
Yeah. Matty, you get anything you wish you'd worked on when you're younger? Any advice to these young kids that if you work?
Yeah, I think obviously working on what you enjoy is key at a young age, because you obviously want to have fun, and obviously scoring goals is the most fun you can have. But I think it's important to work on those things that you don't like, probably because you're not good at those things. For example, skating or something, like if you're not good at crossovers and you hate doing it, maybe only do that a little bit until you get that technique down, and then you'll probably find yourself enjoying it a lot more, and you'll probably do it a lot more. But I think don't just do what you enjoy, try and do a vast range of things.
Jordan?
Yeah, kind of similar, just what both those guys have said. I found over my life that when I'm having fun on the ice, I seem to always produce better and playing better. I play better with a smile on my face. So, realistically, I think if you're having fun while you're doing it, that's the best thing you could do. But looking back at my career, there's not one thing I could really say I wish I'd worked on, but maybe a couple of decisions along the way in my career. But apart from that, like nothing individually I could put my finger on. So yeah, as long as you're having fun and working hard, you should keep improving.
Oh, okay. Barry, over to you.
Yeah, I've got 2 or 3 questions. Funnily enough, I had that question about influential coach, but that's okay. I've scored it out now.
Yeah, you're hanging. Okay, Jordan. Jordan, tell me about that season from start to finish.
Is that a white apple lens you've got there, Barry?
That's it.
Baz maybe remembers it a bit better than I do.
Well,
I had to watch it. But kind of along a similar vein, although it doesn't have to just be a coach, I was wondering about probably the best piece of advice that you've received, maybe when you're coming up as a junior or something that just helped push you on the next level and go, actually, you know what, I want to make a go of this. I want to be a hockey player. That sort of moment, that light bulb moment, was there anything in your early years that really brought that home to you? Matty, you look like you're thinking hard there.
Yeah, I don't think there was a specific moment for me where it just clicked and I thought, that's just what I want to do. I kind of just came to a crossroads for me where I either chose to go to uni or I tried playing in the elite league, and I chose the elite league. So Yeah, not a specific moment where I thought, oh, I'm good enough to do this. So it was more of a, oh, let's go and try and see if I can do it sort of thing.
All right, Murph.
Again, my coach, my dad. I think he had confidence in me, which maybe gave me the confidence to think that it was something I could do, and you know, think something that I could stick at and have a career at. But again, it's not at the time. It wasn't what I was thinking at the time. I was just, you know, having fun and enjoying it and trying to do my best. And but yeah, I think he definitely had confidence in me, which gave myself confidence, I guess.
Yeah. Jordan.
I think one time that kind of springs to mind for me was at the conference weekend. I mean, every year we always used to go down there, and the cool thing was to get one of those all-star jerseys at the end of the week. So, I mean, I played that tournament maybe 5-6 times and never got one. So I think it was my last tournament, second year 17s, and I finally got one. So that was obviously a huge achievement accomplished. And as I was collecting my jersey, Bob Wilkinson, I'm pretty sure he's maybe passed away now, but he was a guy that had a lot of respect in English ice hockey, and he kind of pulled me to the side with my dad and said, kind of like, keep this kid going. Like, he's got a chance if he sticks at it. So I think that was one of the big moments for me when I kind of realized that if I do stick at this, then I could most likely make a career out of it.
Yeah, good, yeah. And other question I had, kind of changing it up a little bit. So you've all represented Great Britain at various levels. What's the sort of, any obscure places that you've been to and strange experiences? I know going away with GB, you end up going away to all these strange countries in Eastern Europe and stuff. Murphy, you've probably got the most.
I don't know what the strangest one was. The coolest ones actually. I've been to Japan a couple of times, and that was some trip. Both times. That was pretty good to be a part of those ones. But yeah, well, I mean, they were definitely the furthest trips I've had. But yeah, they're tough going, those trips. It's such a long flight there, and once you're there, you're either up all night or knackered during the day, and your stomach's just going all over the place, and you've got those games in high altitude as well, and then it's just a bit of a grind. But it's definitely something. Being part of GB has been great. It's been just a great opportunity to see other places, other countries, and play some good hockey as well against some good teams and good players.
Yep. Jordan,
a
couple of trips.
I mean, nothing too crazy stands out. I mean, lucky enough to win a gold medal in my last year at 20s, which was really cool in Estonia. But as far as it goes for crazy stories, like Murph said, those tournaments are pretty full on. So from the minute you arrive, you're pretty much full tilt until the minute the last game's done.
Yep.
I got pretty lucky. I wasn't in any outback European place. I got to go to Tallinn, which is the Estonian capital. I was in Hungary and Debrecen, and then I went to somewhere in Holland with a senior team. Yeah, that's the only 3 times I've been. So I've been pretty lucky.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So we've got loads of questions now in the chat.
And they go in all directions.
And yeah, so you want me to start?
Go for it, Barry. Yeah,
I'll go for it. Yeah,
you're the question guy. You're good at it.
Question guy, only one that can read. Okay, so Jack M would like to know who's the best team you've played against. To each of you.
Oh, I guess I was lucky enough to play against the Boston Bruins for the Giants. So they're pretty tough to beat. I mean, it was a pretty cool experience, and one that I thought was going to be I thought it was going to be special, but I didn't realize it. I think in the build up to the game, I kind of thought, I was thinking, oh, this is pretty cool, but we'll probably play like a B team or something like that. And then the day, I think it was the day of the game, I walked in for a pre-game skate, and the Bruins were on the ice doing their pre-game skate. And I seen Chara just towering over everyone. I seen Tim Thomas and the lot of them, the whole team. Now, just like I thought, what have we got ourselves into here? Like, why are we playing the Boston Bruins? And I don't think I've been more nervous for any other game in the build up to that. And it was just right up until probably normal time when you get into the locker room, and then all of a sudden it sort of becomes your sort of game, your pre-game realistics, and you're just you get into the groove. But then it was afterwards, looking back on it, was a really cool experience. So yeah, it was definitely one of the best teams I played against.
I remember seeing a picture in the handshake from that game, Murph, and it was you and Chara shaking hands.
Yeah.
I think there must have been near on 2 foot of difference between the two of you.
Oh, easily. He was massive. He
Even
scored a wraparound on me in that game, and he was still on the other side of the goal when he wrapped it around.
Even I've asked you before, what did he say to you? No, I just always wanted.
He was actually full of praise. He's actually, after the game, he got on the mic. And in the arena, he got on the mic and he thanked everybody, and he just said how great everything was, and they had a great experience. And I actually knew a guy was working. I played with a guy who was working for the NHLPA at the time, and he was over with him, and he said that he'd been on trips with all those teams before, and he said they'd never do that. Like, they've never done that before. So I think they actually enjoyed their time in Ireland.
Possibly the hospitality as well. Yeah. Matty?
Well, I don't think we can beat that one, can we?
I thought he was going to use that trump card straight away.
Yeah, I know. He should have gone last minute.
I was going to say the end of the Capitals, but
I think Elite League-wise, I'd say the best team I played against was that Nottingham team when they were like ran away with it the 1 year. I think Galby was playing there and stuff. That Jordan Fox guy was there that year, and they ran away with it. I thought they were the most complete teams there's probably been in Elite League while I've been in.
Yeah, I remember that one. Jordan?
Yeah. Probably for me, nothing like the Bruins either, but first time getting called up to the men's national team, we played Poland in the Nottingham Arena. So yeah, those guys were pretty big, pretty fast. So that was probably the closest I've been to the top level.
Yeah, okay. Johnny, I don't know where Johnny's from, but he wants to know how many fights you've been in. I think it's 0 between you all.
0 for me.
One Elite League fight for me. I got jumped by Robert Farmer. I've known him since I was 6.
He is that guy. Yeah, just I think 1 in the Elite League for me, and maybe a couple in the second league, but not usually through choice. So yeah.
Okay, that's the customary fight question out of the way. Zach Doherty would like to know, and he's age 11 from Lanarkshire. He would like to know from each of you how hockey has changed your life. Jordan, you want to go first on that one?
Yeah, I feel like it's not really changed my life. It's kind of all I've ever knew. So it's kind of given me a life more than anything. So yeah, I don't think it's changed it much. I mean, it's like that. It's from an early age. It's all I've ever wanted to do. So yeah, it is my life, and that it will continue like that for a fair few years. Yeah.
That was deep, that answer.
Did he?
No, it was fine. Murph?
Yeah, like I said before, it's given me opportunities to travel places and see other countries and have a career out of it as well, and yeah, and then also just meet a lot of people and make a lot of good friends through it as well. And I think actually as well, like obviously playing for a long time, I've met a lot of people, but memories from when I was a kid playing hockey, it still stand up as some of the strongest memories I have, and some of the best friendships as well. So I think that is one of the biggest things, I guess, from it is, my best mates growing up were all playing hockey, and we still talk about those days even now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, same. Obviously helped me travel the world, been everywhere in Europe, Australia, blah blah blah, and had friendships. You don't get friendships like you do from your teammates, again, from a young age, like Murph said. Moving up here allowed me to meet my wife and have a family and stuff, and live up here. So again, it's not changed my life. It is my life. It's given me a life. Again, it's got deep like counts, but
Yeah.
It's an emotional podcast. It's an emotional
I know.
A counselling session, Matty.
yeah.
Hold on a second. I've got one thing to show you all. You can see that. Thanks, Mac. Mac followed me on there. So there's the big man there.
Mark needs to charge his phone.
It's going down, yeah, that Mac, yeah. Yeah, so there you go. I always wondered, what did he say? What did he say? Okay, bye.
Okay. Finlay Sawyers would like to know from each of you, do you have any superstitions and any backstory for why you have those superstitions? And if you've got loads, maybe just like the top one or two. Matty, you want to go first, that one?
I'm pretty easy though. I don't have any. Maybe I put my left side on before my right, but I think that's just out of habit, not a superstition. Yeah, I'm pretty easy going. I don't have to be ready at 4 minutes before phases, whatever, not one of those guys.
Yeah. Right. Murph?
No, I'm pretty laid back as well. It's more routines, I guess, and it's habits. Just getting into the same routines every game. I mean, I suppose you could argue that it's a superstition, but it's really just a way of mentally preparing yourself, I guess, and just having the same routine. Everything's the same sort of thing, and keeping that as consistent as possible. I think helps, I guess. But it's one of those things. If I guess pretty laid back, saying like Matty, if something's not in its routine, then it's not a big deal. It's not a big superstition.
Yep. Jordan?
Yeah, kind of similar to those guys too. I mean, nothing too crazy. Left before right, just little things like that, taping sticks. But I mean, nothing too crazy. I'm not freaking out if I'm not on time like the week before. But the only thing I might do is if I do have a bad game, I'll maybe tweak a couple little things. But I probably won't think about it much until I get to the rink, and then just figure it out from there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember one guy, I forget his name. It was Greg something. He played for Dundee. He was one of the imports. Probably about, I don't know, eight or 9 years ago, and he had proper like superstitions. He would not leave his stall until he touched certain places, and put his gloves on and off 4 times, and turned his helmet round 3 times, and all this crazy stuff. Everybody else was on the ice, and he was still trying to get it right in the changing room.
That sounds more like OCD than superstition.
Yeah, but I don't know how he got through the day. It was unreal. Like every time he went on the ice, it was like that. He only lasted a year. Maybe that's why.
Yeah. Sounds like hard work.
I know. Tired himself out just for that. Marco from Lanarkshire under 15s. He wants to know who was the best player you've played with, and what did they do that made them the best? Jordan, I'll go to you first for that one.
Played with, one that kind of sticks out. I played with a Slovenian import in Milton Keynes, Blas Emersic. He was an older guy, and he was just one of those guys that no matter what rink we went to, he had respect from every single guy on the ice. And he was one of those guys that was maybe 35 years old, but had the best body on the team and took care of his body, cared for his job. And yeah, he's probably one of the top professionals anyway that I've ever played with.
Right, Matty?
Probably the most naturally gifted player I've played with is Scott Pitt. He just one of those guys that just comes so easy to him. He doesn't really look like he's trying, but yeah, he was good to watch from the bench anyway.
Yeah. Okay, Murph.
Yeah, I struggle with it. I struggle with this question. I feel like I've played with quite a few players that are all really skilled, and it's hard to pick one of them. I've always liked Brandon Benedict. He played for Panthers, played for Giants for a long time as well. I thought he was just a great player, just great work ethic and did everything right. And but also, had obviously playing with Shieldsy as well, which is, he's just such a talented goal scorer, and just it's hard to look past him when he breaks all these records, and also he's my cousin, so I have to be a little bit biased there. And also back in my Dundee days, at Scott Young, playing with him, what a legend he was, and super talented. Like, I think he probably should have been a top NHL player probably of his day. But yeah, he's definitely one that sticks out in my mind from back in the day.
Yeah, he was one of those players that you never quite knew how old he was. You just knew he was old, but he was still better than everyone else.
He was probably old from whenever he probably looked like that from when he played junior, I'd say.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, I'll do one more, and then Stephen or Martin, you can jump in. Callum McHattie would like to know, who is the best player that has shot against you? I'm guessing this is for you, Murph.
I don't know. See, I'm going to go with just thinking of shot. We got Robbie Sandrock, who used to play for the Giants. He had just an absolute cannon, and did score a couple of goals from like his own end as well. He's just like that hard of a shot, and he was able to like skip it as well, so he could shoot from his own end and make it hard but skip as well, right in front of the goalie. So and practice as well, he just had a rocket too. So I guess we'd go with that, or hardest shot at least.
Okay, Baz, you want me to take over?
Yep, it's all yours.
Right, let me just find where we are here. Right, okay, here we go. So this one's for Murph and Matt. How happy were you when you had your testimonials? Describe the feeling when you were first told you were going to get a testimonial, and then the night itself.
I'll go first. I was. It's a huge honor to get your testimonial. To play 10 years for any club is incredible, and to get noticed for it and have people come and celebrate it with you is amazing. Not just fans, but like you see all your old teammates, and it's everyone you want to be there. But as for the night itself, I don't think I enjoyed it that much, because it's kind of like a wedding where you're so bothered if everyone else is having a good time. I didn't really quite enjoy it as much as I could, and I'm even more happy that I did it in February and didn't wait till March, so I wouldn't have got it in with all this coronavirus going on.
Yeah, I would agree. It is quite a stressful event for the players, or for the player who testimonial. But yeah, it's a great honor, and I think it's just a really cool achievement to be playing for the team, whichever team it is, for 10 years, and then have that celebrated as well. And by the end, once the game starts, it's fun. It's a bit of fun, and then after the game, it was a huge sort of relief, but also it was a real cool honor as well, and felt like a good achievement too, which was nice.
When did you get told? Did you get told at sort of the start of that season?
Yeah, for me it was. I can't remember if I was if I was under contract. It was part of your contract talks for that 10th season for me anyway. And it was, you know, it's sort of, they said that they obviously want me back, and they wanted to offer me a testimonial as well. So it was, yeah, it was quite early on. I think it was probably summertime when I knew it was going to happen.
I got mine in my contract when it was like season 8. I signed like a 3-year deal with a testimonial for my 10th year. Got it in there early so they couldn't take it away from me.
Cool. Okay, next question from Johnny. What we got from Johnny? How many games did you play last season? I told you they could be random questions, guys.
Last season? I don't even know. What is last season? When was last season?
Seems like a long time ago, doesn't it?
I don't know.
Think when did the season finish? Mid-March. You guys must all played about 50 each, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Scott Campbell, would you guys like to see the import numbers drop to see more kids given the opportunities to develop the way you have?
I think that's definitely an option for sure that would work. I mean, for me, I think when I started playing in the BNL, I think it was 8. Is that right, Lynchy? Was it 8 imports?
Yeah, it was 8 back then. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, there was, you know, solid players, like great players, like British players, and all playing good roles as well. And it felt like a pretty good mix of import to British players ratio.
It was about a 50-50 split, wasn't it?
Yeah, and you know, and you could go, I think, anywhere, even if it was 10 around there as well. You still getting a lot of opportunities for players. So, I mean, obviously there's a debate as well that the standard could be higher, I guess, if there's more imports, but it depends on the imports that are brought in as well. But yeah, I think it definitely could help a lot of players that are on the cusp of breaking into the league get that better opportunity and then improve from there as well, and then become, you know, solid players in the league.
I think a 10 import league now would be better than the 10 import league was 10 years ago. I think the import standard has gone up that much that it would be a good standard just to have 10. It would be a better standard than it was 10 years ago when it was kind of, when Adam Walker was good.
Jordan, what's your thoughts on that?
I think it can only be positive for the game, I feel. I mean, I don't know, like, 14's just, it seems like a lot. It seems like a lot. So, I mean, speaking to all the guys I've spoke to across the UK, I mean, the message is pretty similar wherever you go. So, I mean, change would be good, but whether it will happen or not, I still don't know. I don't know if our opinions really matter on the fact, but we'll.
I think there's more chance of it happening now just because of the times.
Yeah,
you know, that it might open the door for more players to come through if the league has to lower the imports, just because of obviously having the year off and stuff. I don't know how teams are going to be able to just bounce back to 14 imports, and I'm pretty sure there was talk of change for this season. It just obviously hasn't happened, but I don't know if it was getting lowered by 1 or something. I'm not sure, but
I think with Brexit and the work permit situation as well, that could potentially bring the numbers down a little bit going forward. Who knows? It's a very popular question. Every webinar we seem to put on, no matter who's guest speaking, that question always seems to come up. I think it's everybody's dream to see the numbers go down a little bit, but not lose the standard at the same time, you know.
Yeah, that's just it's the tricky part is I think the players that were already established in the league have improved themselves. You know, I think the GB team probably improved because of the standards has gone up, and guys have had to, you know, lift their standards and keep up with the standards, and, you know, rise above it for some guys as well. And I think that's probably helped the guys were already established, but it just makes it harder for the ones coming through, and also makes it harder for the GB team in the future because the ones coming through aren't getting the opportunity.
Yeah.
they've got a massive jump to just catch up with the GB team.
Yeah, that's a concern as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So Mikey Duffy from Lanarkshire has asked, what's the best path to take to get into an elite league team? I guess he's asking the question as well, I know Mikey's around 13 years old, so for a kid that's 13, 14, 15-year-old, say, what's the best path to take, or what's the best bit of advice you could give them to try and help them crack the elite league?
Again, it's a tough question nowadays because it is a path that's quite hard. I think, like the guys were saying, the jump up from the leagues is pretty big. So I know, I think it seems to be more popular now for kids to be going abroad, whether it's the States or Canada or whatever. But it seems to be an option, but it's not an easy option. It's not just there's no simple option, I don't think, but it's getting that opportunity. It is tough, and I think you need to have someone there on your side as well, which makes it even harder.
Yeah, there's got lots of Liam Kirk as well, Stephen. I mean, he's not done the event, but he's went really far. He's done really well without going to prep school or junior hockey in Canada.
Yeah, I think when every kid in British ice hockey heard Liam getting drafted, it's made them all think, well, if it can happen to him, it can happen to them as well. Kids, we're actually going to be really fortunate in 2 or 3 weeks. We're going to have Liam Kirk on here one Friday night, so you'll get a chance to ask him some questions.
I think another boy's just got put in for the draft, has he not? Is it Alex Graham or something? Has he not got put in for this year's draft?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think the boy from Sheffield, he just scored a lot of goals this weekend for the Steel Dogs. I think he's in this year's draft, 16-17.
Yeah, I know Alex. Alex is a good player. I had him for a couple of years with the British 16s. He's very talented. Yeah, but I hadn't heard that. No.
I think I saw it on Twitter anyway.
Maybe Matty, with Liam getting drafted, maybe the NHL selectors are looking a bit more at UK. It's now got a bit of focus to that, so every kid now has that opportunity.
Yeah, I think just before Kirky went as well, Davy Phillips did pretty well over there at training camp, and I'm sure Benny Davis and that was over in East Coast. So teams are more aware that there's actually ice hockey in the UK now. So
yeah, I think as well the national team, like I was saying before, I think they have improved, and being in the top pool as well. That obviously shines a good light on the British hockey as well. So hopefully that brings more opportunities, I guess.
Okay, Rudy has asked, how many hours a day did you train when you were kids? He's from Belfast, he's 10. So were you guys lucky in juniors where you managed to get on ice 3 or 4 times a week, or were you at clubs where you were practicing once, maybe twice a week if you were lucky?
I think growing up, most of my development felt like it was probably done off the ice rather than on the ice. I mean, we were probably restricted to maybe 1-2 hours per week. So, I mean, there's only so much you can get done in that time. So, I mean, having a hockey goal at the house from an early age, playing street hockey with my friends, I feel like that's pretty much where I learned most of my skills. And then when I went to the rink, it was just time to sort of put those skills onto the ice. So, yeah, I think definitely working in the street and working at home is a good way to improve.
Yeah, I don't think we had a ton of ice time or anything growing up, but I think I was fortunate enough to play at different levels as well. So with you're under 12s and playing with under 14s as well. So getting multiple practices on one night, and then playing two games in one day sometimes as well. So just as much ice time as possible. Yeah, I think it was the key for me. It wasn't there all the time, but when it was there, I think we got the most out of it.
Yeah, same with me. Once a week we'd practice. I think it's like Thursdays or something, and then had like an hour. And then when I got to under 14s, when you start playing up age groups, you get 2 or 3 sessions a week. But even still, that's not enough. But it's the ice time's the issue, isn't it, in the UK?
Yeah, we in Scotland we've got quite contrasting clubs. We've got 2 or 3 clubs that manage to get their kids on the ice 3, sometimes 4 times a week, which is great. we've got other clubs where, yeah, there's some kids maybe only get on the ice once a week for 1 hour through the restrictions that they've got at the rink and things like that, which isn't ideal. But any ice you can get, kids, take it, never turn it down. Next question's a good one. It's from Brody K. We've not had this question yet, but it'll get you guys thinking. If you were selected for the World Championships in Latvia, that's any one of the three, or if all three of you, for instance, if you were to be selected for the GB team, how would you start to prepare, given that there's no ice?
I wouldn't eat for about a month, try and shift a bit of timber put on. It's hard right now because there's no end goal for us at the minute, so there's no motivation and stuff. But if we got, like, say, notification that we might get picked in 2 months, then I'm sure, being the professionals we are, we would knuckle down and do some off ice work and try and get on the ice wherever we could.
It's a good question though, because there's a lot of other countries, obviously, that Britain are going to be coming up against, are training and playing, whether it be behind closed doors or whatever. We're one of few countries that where everything's shut. Really, that's a good question, Murph.
It'd be very tough to prepare for something like that without proper training. I think there's maybe ice once a week here for some of the sort of kids that are in the GB programs, I think. But the thing is, if you're trying to train for a level that's basically higher than anything that we've ever played, really, and trying to train for that level with kids, and if you don't have that kind of training going into it, it's going to be tough to prepare for, and it's going to be a tough year for GB, I think, for sure. I know that some of the guys are in some of those countries that are still playing, and that's great for them, but as a squad, it's going to be tough to prepare for sure. I don't know what I would do, to be honest.
Jordan, what do you think? If you got the phone call, what would you do?
I don't know. I mean, I'd probably be pretty anxious about it. I'm not very prepared, to say the least. But I mean, like that, I don't think I could cross that bridge until I would really come to it. So, yeah, like that, we've not skated for a long time now, so it's not really something that's in the back of my mind. But if it came up, it would probably most likely take me by surprise more than anything.
Quick lap at Pier Park, you'll be fine.
Good question. Next question, Jim Patterson. Stephen, has your boy had the pads on yet?
No chance.
How old is he?
He's just turned 5. He was starting to play. He's starting as a player for sure. He's not getting the pads right away. If he wants to later on, then fine. But the thing is that these times are so weird, you know. Like he was just getting into hockey, and all of a sudden there's nothing, and you know there's just no sport on at the moment anyway. So it's just such a weird time. But yeah, he's keen into his sport anyway. So he'll if he wants the pads, he can have them, but he's not getting. I'm definitely not pushing him that way. I also kind of feel like I'd be happy if he played some other sport as well. You know, just he can do whatever he wants basically. But yeah. I have a feeling he might tend towards the goalie at some point, but not yet anyway.
You're just thinking about the cost of the pads, aren't you?
Exactly. I'm just thinking about it.
Okay, Scott Campbell saying, in the ISL, one of the seasons, all the teams agreed to play. Oh, sorry, let me start that again. It's not a question, is it a statement? It's probably your best to answer it anyway, Murph. In the ISL, one of the seasons, all the teams agreed to play their backup goalies for the whole of the Challenge Cup. And then further down, I think it follows on, says, do you think something like that would work now? Have I got that right, Scott? Have you just asked 2 questions, but in 2 different parts? One question in 2 different parts? I think you have.
Yeah, basically, I hit the send button too early.
All right, okay. So in the ISL, in the old Super League, one of the seasons, all the teams agreed to play their backup goalies for the whole of the Challenge Cup. Do you think something like that would work now? Murph, really, this one's angled at you.
It's also asking and reducing the numbers. Like, pick one tournament and go with 8 imports in that tournament in order to bring players in from, like, Solway or wherever else teams can find them. just pick one tournament as a development tournament for the Super League, for the Elite League teams?
It's a good idea.
It's definitely not a bad idea. There's no reason why it couldn't work either. You know, if teams are committed to it, and all teams are on board, then yeah, there's no reason why it couldn't work. It's just getting teams to commit to it. Every sort of, you know, every title is kind of sought after at the moment. So, and there's pressure on all the teams to succeed. So that's where it's tough for the teams, the owners and the coaching staff to give that opportunity, because they are under pressure, and then, you know, they don't want to fail by giving some kids the opportunity. But if it's a predetermined thing, then there's no reason why that couldn't work. Yeah, it's a good idea.
Okay, cheers, Scott.
I'm sure they had a cup competition for the Scottish teams in the Elite League a way back, maybe, I don't know, 10 years ago or so. That was mainly, it was the first year Dundee were in it, and it was mainly British players they used, with like 4 imports or something. But I remember being at Edinburgh, Stars versus Edinburgh, and there was like 20 people in the rink. You know,
Yeah,
it was just...
They did something similar years and years and years ago in the old BNL as well. Murph, you were maybe kicking around there at the time. They did that Best of British League, where it was a non-import. Were you there at the time, or were you somewhere else?
I don't know if that was. I remember that, but I can't remember if I played in it or not.
They did a Best of British League. No imports were allowed to play in it, so it was all the British players on the team. Where, well, for instance, the Flyers had players up from the Kestrels, and the Capitals had players up from their SNL team. But all the games were midweek, and again, Barry, nobody really came. Fans didn't really support it. They weren't really interested, to be honest.
I think if something is going to be done like that, it has to be done right, and still have that competitive edge to it. You know,
yeah.
Like where there's no, you know, the fans don't think of any less of it as well. It is still a big deal for everyone involved.
Okay, next one, CJ from Fife. What have you been doing to keep fit during lockdown? Jordan, you want to start off with this one?
I mean, it's been pretty tough, because a lot of our work's mainly done in the gym. So with the gyms closed, it's been more or less home workouts. I ordered myself some of those the bands that you put in your door frame, and you could kind of get a workout with them. But apart from that, a lot of running, a lot of cycling, and going for walks as well, like hiking too. So yeah, just been trying to stay active more than anything.
Matt?
Exactly the same, mate. Yeah, it's just so hard just to doing the Joe Wicks workout every morning. I don't know if you were doing it as well, but yeah, it's pretty tough. It's been tough, but trying to get through it.
You get a workout you can join on Sunday at 12 o'clock, Matty.
I don't want to embarrass myself, mate, to be honest.
Big rap cleaner workout on Sunday.
Martin, you want to take a few questions?
Yeah. Just look at where we're at. Just after CJ. Question from Brody. Do any of you do brain training to improve your cognitive brain function to improve your game? A deep question as well from Brody.
Does PlayStation count? The only training I do is study. Brain training. That's the only thing I do is study.
Study. Yep. Matty, you ever done any kind of brain training to try and improve your game? Any kind of seminars, or anyone got any kind of mindset kind of coaching courses, anything like that to help the game?
No, just a few crosswords for me. Few Sudokus.
I
know. I don't know if you follow Ben Bounds on Twitter. He's got one of those virtual reality with this. Did you see that, Murph, with a blocker and catcher thing he's got going on in Austria? He's got like a VR headset, and he's got the two things, and people shoot at him, and he makes saves in his living room and stuff. Typical Boundsy, but that's the only thing I've ever seen.
Jordan, you done any?
Maybe the closest I've came to someone like that was buying like a mindset book. I bought a book a couple of years ago. It was called The Champion's Mind, And I found that if I read a few pages of that before heading to the rink, that it just kind of got me in a mindset that was ready to play. So yeah, that's pretty much about it. Nothing too crazy on that side.
Okay. I think this should be for you, Stephen. And a shootout, have you ever, or maybe not, that suit flipped a goalie? I think it's maybe for Marty and Jordan then, not for Stephen.
I didn't know. I'd be good. Did you say, could we do it?
Have you ever done it?
I've never done it. No, I only chase license down. County could probably do some stuff like that.
You're just keeping it for the next round of games, right? Don't want to give the game away.
Yeah, that's it.
Jordan, you done anything like that?
What was the question? Sorry, could I do
have you ever in a shootout, have you ever Datsuk flipped the goalie?
Never Datsuk flipped the goalie, but I scored a nice one for GB, the one-handed deke. That was for the gold medal, so that was pretty cool.
Not a big deal.
No Datsuk moves though. That's
Did Barry show you that one?
yeah. We used to stay behind after practice, and he'd teach me.
That's good. Good. Well done, Baz. Well done. So next one from Callum McHattie to Murph. How many fights have you been in? I can remember one.
Right question twice, huh?
You remember one, eh?
Yep.
Is that? I don't think I was in much of
Oh,
a fight.
we were all involved in it at the fight.
Oh, was that
against Fife?
Against Dundee, and remember and it was against Dundee in Fife. We were all.
Oh, in Fife, and like off. It was coming off the ice, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Remember that one?
And that was just handbags.
Yeah.
No, I've never been in a one-on-one fight. No one wants to take me.
Too tough. We've got a question here from Ben Strachan. That's a bit interesting. What's the pay like? Just say it's good. Just say it's good.
Murph's sitting in the west wing of his house right now. Haywood's in a holiday home. Jordan's still sitting in Dundee, but
Chara's still phoning him saying, "Are you really getting paid that much?"
Just nod and smile.
Yeah. Sorry, Ben. I don't think we can get you the P45 details for the guys or tax returns. You know, you get more.
Not enough. We'll say not enough.
Not enough. Always not enough. Never enough. I'll have more success getting Donald Trump's tax returns. Ashton, keep it clean for the wee ones. From Jack M. Do you play NHL? I think they mean Xbox or PlayStation or whatever. Do you play NHL and do you play hockey and video games?
Yeah, I play a little bit. Mostly Warzone just now, though. I like that. Call of Duty. That's what me and my mates are playing quite a bit just now.
No NHL?
Wee bit of NHL, but nah, mainly Warzone right now.
Oh, missing out. You used to get away trips, you get the Sega thumb. Your thumb was that, so you played Sega all night long. Matty, you play Xbox, PlayStation?
No, I'm not really a gamer, mate. I used to play when I used to be single and live with a couple of guys, but not anymore. I've got two little kids to look after. I don't have time to be playing games.
This one is from Mac to you, Mark Stephen. How many shutouts have you had in your career? Well, it's actually from Harris's son.
You know the answer, but you don't want to say you know, do you?
I actually don't know. I think I've got around. I don't know. It's between 25 and 30 for the Giants, because I know that because there was a quiz last year at some point. We had we did a trip on the ferry with the fans, and there was a quiz, and it came up, and I didn't know the answer, and the team I was on were expecting me to know the answer. I obviously didn't. I got it wrong, but I know I still get it wrong now. But it's around, say, 26 or something like that. But other than the Giants, I have no idea.
Okay. What's next one from Joe to everyone? What sort of off-ice training did you use?
Oh, but previous and before, when I off-ice training for me is more about it became more about maintenance for me. So it was a lot of band work, a lot of stretching sort of work, working on mobility and just core strength sort of thing for me. So it was nothing really heavy for me. Really, it was more about just keeping it keeping loose, really, more than anything.
Matty, any kind of off ice work before the season, during the season?
I think in the summer, I would lift a bit heavier than during the season, but I wasn't really like a heavy lifter. I'd be more plyometrics sort of thing. I'd like jump in and trying to stay like explosive and stuff like that. But yeah, I wasn't the guy who would go and squat as much as heavy as I could. I was too boring for me, that, so I like to just try and have a bit of fun and just do quite a few jumps and stuff. And I know Cownie's a big squatter, aren't you, Cownie?
Yeah, Cownie, what do you do?
No, not much. I mean, like no, a big part of my game is skating. So I mean, fitness is a big thing for me. Leg core strength is a big thing. But I mean, I usually like to give myself about 2 or 3 months before the season to kind of prepare, and not just my body but my mind as well. Going into that mind frame day in day out, it's quite an adaptation from like that, going from being unemployed in the summer and just kind of relaxing. So yeah, it's yeah, sorry, what was the question again?
Don't worry.
Yeah,
we'll move on.
Yeah.
Okay, this is from Colin and Cammy Lees. Murph, do you have a memorable save that you've made in your career?
I guess there's a few. Like there's one that I think it was my first year for the Giants, and it was we went to playoff finals, and it was a shootout, and I made a save, and then we went down and scored to win to the finals. So it's a pretty big memory, and it was a big moment for the Giants as well. So it sort of gets played back every now and again, so that's kind of helped refresh it in my mind. But yeah, I guess it was pretty cool. The playoffs are it's funny, that's what I was talking about before. With the league is so big and it's such a grind. It's like every single weekend, every single game. Whereas the playoffs, it's like 6 games, something like that. So they shouldn't be the hardest thing to win, but when you do win it, it's a fun way to end the season, and that's definitely a cool memory to have.
Yeah, okay. We're going to test your memory here from Crawford Murray. Think of the name. He's Ross Murray's son from Lanarkshire Line, plays for us. Do you remember the time in Glasgow Juniors when my uncle Martin Murray broke your brand new goalie helmet in practice?
I actually do remember that. Yeah, that was because I used to wear the old bucket Jofa helmet.
Yeah,
and that was actually the first mask I ever got, and I got it from Canada. Came back, I think it was maybe the first practice wearing it back in Glasgow, and I think it was a dodgy puck, had chunks in it that just smashed the helmet, and then I went back to the old Jofa for another good few years after that.
Okay. We've got a comment from Jim Patterson. Apparently Chara said to you, do you know Colin Wilson?
Yeah, he was asking me where a good nightclub was.
Well, Belfast. So this one's to your Finlay Sawyers. Who's the fastest player you've played with in your team?
I think last season we had a guy called Kevin Dufour, and I'm pretty sure guys now he maybe had about 20, 30 breakaways last year. So yeah, he was a really good skater, really fast.
Any did he score?
Quite a lot.
Really?
He missed a lot too, but yeah, he put quite a lot away. Yeah.
Okay. Matty, fastest player?
It's between two. Vaclav Stupka, he was on our team I think 2 years ago. He same as County's guy. He had about 57 breakaways a game. And a guy from a while ago who played from Newcastle and then came up to us was Tom's Hartmanis. He used to just fly around. It wasn't even funny trying to keep up with these guys.
Okay. Question from Scott Campbell. for Murph. Is there one thing you can pinpoint that you did year after year to ensure that the Giants didn't consider signing an import goalie?
Bribe them. I don't know.
Getting older.
I think I don't know. I think I really tried to be consistent, you know, throughout my time with the Giants, and like I said, I tried to prepare the same for every single game and make sure I was giving the team the best opportunity to win games, and I think I managed to pull it off for a good length of time anyway, and I think that was the key. It was just making sure I was committed to every single game and take each game as it come, and also I think every game, but more so every season as well, you're trying to prove yourself, and not get too comfortable, I think is key as well, and I think that it makes it a little bit easier to do that when in the teams like Elite League that they tend to have decent turnaround. So there's new guys coming in every year, and you want to commit yourself and prove yourself to them that you know that you belong in that and to play in the top level in the country, and try and outplay them as well, which is also it's definitely something that can get you going as well. But yeah, I think just trying to stay consistent helps.
Okay, question for Matt. Did you enjoy having your old and current teammates at your testimonial?
Yeah, it was good. It was quite surreal though. Like I was saying, I had one of these things contract last week. It was at a moment where I was like, there's never going to be this group of guys on the ice again, ever, sort of thing. So it was good. It was good to see all friends, and a lot of guys brought their wives over and stuff as well. So it was good to all be together again, and then see how the current team got on with the older guys and share stories and share just a couple of beers and stuff. So it was good.
Martin,
sorry, I muted myself there. Sorry. So guys, just quick question, y'all. What is your favourite ice rink to play in? What's your favourite rink? It's got to be Glasgow.
Yeah, I've got to say Glasgow. Do you mean like away rink though? Because you're going to say
let's see what's your favourite away rink in?
I like Sheffield. I think they've got the best showers, and I get to see my family when I go home. And it's obviously they got potential to get 7,000-8,000 fans, which is good. Belfast is probably second. The only reason why it's second is because I have to go on the boat across, and it makes me feel sick every single time.
Murph?
Best away.
Let's go for best away, because your home rink's got to be your favourite, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can't really beat your home atmosphere, really. That for me, it's kind of what it's about. I think it's tough. I like playing in quite a few. I actually like playing in Braehead. Good atmosphere there. I think it's a great rink for the fans as well. You know, it's always a good atmosphere in there, and it's cool going back home as well. Same with Fife. It's not the nicest place to play, but it's always a great rowdy atmosphere, and I love that about it. I think it's great. I think it's one of the definitely still, like, you know, the best hockey based, you know, arena or rink, whatever you want to call it. You know, just the sheer rowdiness, and Nottingham's pretty good as well. But I guess I'd probably pick Braehead, I suppose.
Really?
Yeah, I'd probably have to say for me Nottingham. I done a little spell there for a few months. I sent a two-way when I was maybe about 18. So walking into the arena for training camp, that's the first time I kind of had that professional feeling when you walk in, and 8,000 seats, whatever it may be. So kind of every time I go back there, it's it feels special to play there.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Next one. Collie number 11 has asked, are any on the NHL 20 or 20? I think we've covered that, Collie, earlier on. Zach Doherty, to everyone, have you ever chipped a goalie, or even better, have you chipped Murph?
No.
Yeah, I don't know if I've digged the goalie before, like maybe on Sunday league, but no ice hockey.
Not in a game. Okay.
No, not yet.
I'll ask this question. This question is for Jordan and Matty, but then I'll ask another question to Stephen. Have you ever scored a hat trick? And if you do you remember it? And who was it against?
Elite League hat trick. I've only scored one. I scored it against Edinburgh, but yeah, I only ever scored one Elite League one.
Jordan, you got a hat trick yet?
Not yet. I had a couple, maybe 2-goal games, but never a hat trick in the Elite League. Couple in the second league, but not quite cracked it at the ODI yet.
You're a young man.
Yeah,
I'll play ahead of you. Stephen, so I'm going to ask you, have you scored a goal at elite league level?
No, I've not even come close, mate. I haven't even had a shot on net. I've had a few assists. A few assists. One year, I think it was Dundee. I had like 14 assists or something like that. I beat a couple of guys. I beat a couple of them.
A couple of guys. Yeah. Yep.
Just gave it to Scott Young and he went coast to coast. Eh?
I think it was. I think it was just stop it behind the net. One of them.
Yeah. So I think that's all the questions done, guys.
Is that us?
Yes. Got through it all. 9:20.
Can we tell them about Sunday? Have you are we?
No, Sunday's going ahead, 12 o'clock. But there'll be a further announcement about Sunday. But right now, Sunday's fitness session is on, guys. Just watch out. That might change and might include the younger kids at under 11s, under 13s. But right now, it's still for 15s and 18s. But just watch out, guys, for the announcement. Hopefully early tomorrow.
Okay, cool. So we got that going on Sunday, kids, and then next Friday we'll have Friday Night Live again with a couple of different guests. So stay tuned to find out who they're going to be. And then next Saturday, for all you goalies that are on the call, Colin Grubb's going to do the second part of his 3-part webinar as well. So we're going to keep doing as much as we can for you guys over the next few weeks and months, just to keep you all engaged and interested in hockey and keep you thinking about hockey as much as we possibly can. I think if we're going to wrap this up now, this is a good time for everybody to say thanks to Stephen, to Matt and to Jordan. Kids, can we get a big 2 thumbs up for them all to say thank you? Great, okay. And on behalf of Barry, Martin and I, guys, thanks for giving up your time. Thanks for helping us trying to achieve what we're trying to achieve here by trying to keep our sport alive during lockdown. These webinars that we're doing are going to go a long way to keeping our kids engaged, and hopefully we don't lose too many of them. And when rinks do open again, we'll have good numbers throughout Scottish hockey. So yeah, guys, thanks very much for tuning in once again. It's great to see all the same faces that come week after week, and it's great to see some new faces and some new names all the time as well. Go tell your friends how good a night you had watching Friday Night Live, and encourage them all to come and watch with you next Friday, okay? Okay, fellas, boys and girls, we'll see you all next week. We'll see you all Sunday, more importantly, for your fitness session, right? Harris McMillan, I know you'll be on, won't you? Yeah? Adam Paisley, will we see you? Oh, Adam's just gone, I think. Finlay Sawyers, will we see you?
Yep.
Good stuff. Okay, guys, thanks for all tuning in. We'll see you again next week.